And then you get into reporting, right? From a reporting perspective, Primo PayDay has a few key areas for with standard reports, kind of stock reports that can be configured and tweaked. But we have areas in the batch payroll process. We have areas in the payroll ledger entries that we can jump to. And then we have some basic reports within the normal navigation. But then the core reporting functionality is all built around configuring reports that you can use as a user or that you can configure on your own, where you can configure reports by payroll code or trigger certain fields in the employee card or payroll ledger entries table. And we can talk about that. So on the batch process, you've got some stock reports like being able to compare batches. You can do batch comparison if you have a really stable payroll, PTO accruals, check registers, just some kind of basic reports that are pretty commonly requested by customers. You have some financial reports like your check register, trial balance, GL entry, pre-note pending. You've got some general employee reports. You've got a few HR reports that are based on benefits and garnishment reporting. And so now in the payroll ledger entries table, we have additional reports that are available, whether it's 941 recs, state or local income tax, SUTA-FUTA reports, additional states, payroll check registers, things like that. But another kind of core component of this product is the configurable reporting. So, but you can export all the most of the tables in Excel, which applies to that really core Business Central function. Where if you want to like export a table in Excel, make changes, and load those changes automatically to the table you're just in, you can do that. So all of that's there. The ability to use these data points for, I don't know, Power BI reports or whatever data reporting you might be using, you can. But we also have ad hoc reporting. You as a user can take any payroll code in the system and combine it and filter it however you want and sort it into a report format that works for you and save that report to use over and over again. And so what that allows for you what that means for you as a user is that you can have a lot of control over the types of data, payroll data that you want to report on. You have a lot of control over how that report looks. And if you want a payroll team member to build a report for you, it's going to be a lot cheaper because we're not having to go into some SQL backend and do it. So the reporting is cheaper if you want someone to do it for you, and it gives you a ton more control over what you see and how you see it. But in this case, if you want to do an EFTPS report, which is a common report for individuals who are remitting taxes to the IRS, you need to know several things. You need to know, what is my Social Security withholding for both the employee and employer side? What is my Medicare withholding on both the employee and employer side into one number? And what is my federal income tax for that cycle? So you can create this report. And in this instance, each group is like a column in the Excel sheet. And each group is actually broken out by specific payroll codes in the system itself. For demo purposes, what you can see here is that both sides of Social Security are in one number for EFTPS. The entire total number for that cycle for Medicare is in one little nice column, and the federal withholding for that cycle is in one column. And that's a simplistic example, but hopefully it gives you the idea about the sort of reporting, ad hoc reporting that's there. And then the other example would be the field selection reports. So if you have any report you want to create that pulls data from any field in the employee card or the payroll ledger entries table, you can do that as well. And same kind of rules apply where you as a user have access to it. But then also, if you want us to do it, it's a lot cheaper.